It all started on a Friday night in California. Warm air, clear sky, just another night out with friends. We picked a bar downtown, the kind of place where you can actually hear each other talk. I wasn't looking for anything, just a fun night. Then I saw him, Leo. Tall, movie star smile, magnetic. Our eyes met and I felt a jolt of electricity. I tried to focus on my friends, but I kept glancing back at him. He seemed confident, chatting with the bartender like he owned the place. Eventually he walked over and introduced himself. His voice was smooth, his charm effortless. He offered to buy me a drink, and my friends nudged me to say yes. Conversation flowed, music, movies, favorite city spots. It felt like we'd known each other for years. Leo was funny, smart, and attentive. As the bar got crowded, he suggested we move to a quieter corner. Suddenly, it felt like we were the only two people in the room. He listened, really listened, to everything I said. He asked about my life, my dreams. By the end of the night, I gave him my number without hesitation. Walking home, I felt like I was floating. I thought I'd just met the man of my dreams. I had no idea how much my life was about to change. That night, everything shifted. The story really began. The next day, Leo called, just like he promised. We talked for hours, laughing, sharing stories. He worked in finance, traveled a lot, always had an interesting story. Every morning he'd text me, every night he'd call. Our first date was at a fancy Italian place. He'd made reservations, ordered the wine, treated me like royalty. He remembered every detail, my favorite flower, my favorite song. The next few weeks were a whirlwind, beach sunsets, hikes, concerts, art galleries. Leo always planned something new. My friends adored him, said I was lucky. I believed them. I was falling for him, fast. He always knew what I needed. Ice cream after a bad day, a weekend getaway when I was stressed. He made me feel special, seen, safe. I thought it was love. I thought I'd found the perfect guy. He seemed to read my mind. I was swept off my feet. Every day felt like a fairy tale. He was attentive, thoughtful, and always there. My friend said he was perfect for me. I felt like the luckiest girl in the world. I was happy, blissfully unaware. I didn't see the shadows creeping in. I thought I was safe. I thought I was loved. But sometimes fairy tales have dark twists, and mine was just beginning. After a month, I noticed small things that felt off. Leo hated when I mentioned past boyfriends. His mood would instantly shift. He'd call and text constantly, needing to know my every move. If I didn't answer, he'd keep calling, leaving anxious voicemails. He said it was because he cared, wanted me safe. One night out with friends, he showed up by surprise. My friends thought it was sweet, but I felt uneasy. It felt less like romance, more like surveillance. He started criticizing my friends, planting doubts about their loyalty. He wanted me all to himself, insisting our connection was too special for others to understand. I began spending less time with my friends. It was easier than dealing with his comments. I told myself he was just protective, but deep down I felt something wasn't right. The little red flags were easy to ignore at first. I wanted to believe in the fairy tale, but the cracks were starting to show. I was losing pieces of myself one by one, and I didn't even realize it. The red flags grew bigger, harder to ignore. Leo's possessiveness became suffocating. He'd show up unannounced, get angry if I had plans without him. One day I canceled on my sister because he guilted me into spending the day with him. I felt a knot of fear in my stomach. He started controlling how I dressed, buying me conservative clothes. He said it was to protect me from other men. I wore them to avoid fights. I felt myself fading, becoming who he wanted. Then he got a key to my apartment without asking. I came home to find him there, claiming it was for emergencies. My privacy was gone, but I was too scared to protest. I smiled and pretended it was okay, but inside I felt trapped. My home was no longer safe. I was losing control of my own life. The charming man I met was gone. In his place was someone I barely recognized. I was afraid to make him angry, so I kept pretending, but the fear was growing. I felt more alone than ever, and I didn't know how to escape. Fear became my constant companion. I was always on edge, afraid of triggering his anger. The man I'd fallen for was gone, replaced by someone controlling and unpredictable. I tried to pull away, but he only tightened his grip. He started showing up everywhere. Work, gym, grocery store, always with an excuse, but I knew he was watching me. My world shrank. I felt like a prisoner. My friends noticed I'd changed, but I was too scared to tell them the truth. Then came the breaking point, a fight over a photo I liked on social media. He accused me of cheating, screamed for hours, smashed my phone. I realized then this wasn't love, it was danger. The next day, he acted like nothing happened, bought me a new phone, apologized. He blamed his jealousy on loving me too much. I didn't believe him anymore. I saw the monster behind the mask. I knew I had to get away, but he knew everything about me. Where I lived, worked, my routines. The thought of leaving terrified me. I felt trapped, desperate for a way out. I started planning in secret. I had to be careful. One wrong move, and I knew what he was capable of. The mask was off. I was living with a stranger, and I was running out of time. I needed to escape before it was too late. My life depended on it. My escape plan had to be flawless. I acted normal, smiled, laughed, wore the clothes he chose. Every word, every gesture was an act. Secretly, I opened a new bank account, moved my money, packed a hidden bag. My heart raced every time I added something to it. I researched new places to live, far away, where he'd never find me. I used library computers, afraid he'd tracked my own. The library became my safe haven. I looked for small towns in Oregon and Washington. I waited for the right moment, when he'd be away on a business trip. The days before his trip were torture. I was terrified he'd see through my act, cancel his plans. I just had to hold on a little longer. My freedom was almost within reach. Every day felt like walking a tightrope. I rehearsed my escape in my mind over and over. I couldn't afford a single mistake. The fear was overwhelming, but hope kept me going. I was so close, I could almost taste freedom. I just needed one chance, and I was ready to take it. My life depended on it. I wouldn't let him win. The day of his trip, Leo called from the airport. Calm, loving, normal. As soon as we hung up, I grabbed my bag and left. I took out my money, bought a prepaid phone, ditched the one he gave me. I bought a bus ticket to a small Oregon town. The wait at the station felt endless. Every time the door opened, I jumped. Then my burner phone rang. An unknown number. I answered. It was Leo. His voice was cold. "Where are you?" I lied. "I'm at home." He replied, "No, you're not. I'm at your apartment right now." He'd never left. It was all a test. My blood ran cold. I realized I'd walked right into his trap. "You can't run from me," he said. "I will always find you." Panic set in. I had to move. Now. I scanned the station for exits. I knew he was coming. My plan was falling apart, but I refused to give up. I was done being his prisoner. I was ready to fight for my life. I just needed to get away, no matter what. This was my only chance. I wouldn't let him win, not now. I hung up and ran for a side exit, heart pounding. The alley was dark, but I kept running. I heard footsteps. He was close. I burst onto a busy street, dodging cars, desperate to escape. He was right behind me, face twisted with rage. I ducked into another alley, a dead end. Trapped, I turned to face him. He advanced, taunting me. I spotted a loose brick, grabbed it, hands shaking. He lunged. I swung the brick, hitting him in the head. He staggered, shocked and furious. That moment was my chance. I pushed past him and ran. I didn't look back. I ran until my lungs burned, until I was sure I'd lost him. I found a police station and told them everything. I was shaking, terrified, but I finally felt a glimmer of hope. The police listened, took my statement, and put out an alert for Leo. I knew it wasn't over, but I'd survived. I'd fought back. I wasn't his victim anymore. I was free, at least for now. My life would never be the same, but I was alive, and I was ready to start over. I'd escaped the nightmare. Now, I had to build a new life, on my own terms. With police help, I entered a program for domestic violence survivors. I got a new name, a new identity, a new start. I left California behind, moved to a quiet town in the Pacific Northwest. I found a small apartment, a job at a bookstore. I kept to myself, learning to trust again. The fear lingered, but every day it faded a little more. Some nights I woke from nightmares, but I was safe. I could finally breathe. I could wear what I wanted, go where I wanted. I was free. I lost everything, but I gained my life back. My hair is a different color. My name is new, but I am still me. I am a survivor. I will never let anyone take my freedom again. This is my new beginning. I'm not the same person I was, but I'm stronger. I learned to trust myself. I learned to fight for my life. I found hope in the darkness. I found myself, and I will never go back. My story isn't a fairy tale, but it's mine. And I'm finally free. I survived. I'm living again. This is my story.